Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Heart Facts. If you're new to my channel, I'm Jared Dowling and I'm in the process of healing my angina with the help of my partner Georgie. In this week's episode, I cover what happened to me during the week and some video footage of us going to the organic market in Coin, and I have another video that I prepared for you of I baking the best Irish soda bread you've ever tasted. Anyway, as reported in my last video, I was 2 weeks completely free of angina. But I had a major setback during the week. My angina returned. Not as bad as before, but enough to remind me that it hadn't actually gone away. Having started the Eshelstine diet on April the 11th, I got my first break from angina a month later, and I was absolutely over the moon. I had 2 full weeks of angina freedom, and I was absolutely thrilled. Of course, it being a Friday afternoon on the 22nd of May, I felt compelled to celebrate 2 weeks of being angina free, so I drank 3 pints of Guinness, and it was a big mistake. I don't know how many times I've said it before, that's no more drink for me, that's it. But this time I really, really mean it. So on Monday I felt more energized and decided to go for my 40-minute walk, and sure enough, the bloody angina raised its ugly head again. I don't panic often, but this time, Jesus, I did panic. I was devastated, to be honest with you. So I pulled myself together, and with the help of Georgie and a good night's sleep, I calmed down big time. But the bloody thing remained until the following Thursday. And on Thursday night, I banged out a couple of emails to Dr. Eshelstine, or Anna Eshelstine in actual fact, and Paul Chatlin. Paul is with the PBNSG, and in fairness to both of them, they replied immediately. So on the Friday afternoon, I chatted with Dr. Eshelstine on the phone and could sense that he was on a tight rein, and that he had a lot on his plate. I know I'm blessed to actually have his time, to get his time. Anyway, having gone through everything with the doc, he said I was doing everything okay, except, of course, drinking beer wasn't part of the deal. I know that, but, I just wanted to be upfront with him anyway. I really like his candor, the fact that he's straight, and he has no time for absolutely no messing or no nonsense. So his words of wisdom were, it's taken me 60 years, to get coronary heart disease. It's a slow burner. And, to fix it, it's not a sprint to the finish. Healing isn't a straight line. And he said, of course, I'll possibly have lots of ups and downs along the way. But, the most important thing is that, I gradually feel that I'm getting better, and that the graph is going in the right direction, and that and then it will click. In time, it will actually all come together and it will click. These words of wisdom are not in his book. But for me, at the time, you have no idea the comfort it gave me. It was the clarity that I desperately needed. It really was. Georgie always says that I'm the most impatient patient, and I think she is right. So anyway, feeling comforted after talking to the doc, it's now back to Gail 6 times a day, and I already feel an awful lot better. Of course, knowing that the bloody angina, the ugly head of angina, will raise its ugly head again as soon as I go off the rails. But all of this made me realize more than ever the importance of support. And I know that there's lots of you out there that's like is sometimes confused, bewildered and scared and wondering, what can I do about this? So I'd really appreciate some feedback as to, what you think would be a good thing to do, especially for Europe and or Ireland and the UK. I don't care, but I just like to start something where I know that this journey is recorded, that there's like the AA, that there's a support group, that people, when they are in the same position as myself, they can call somebody and they just basically say, well, did you experience this, or what was your experience of blah blah blah, or such and such a thing happened. And it's just somebody that you can have as a sounding board. I think that's just so important. Now, there's no panic about it, and it's just I'd like to get some kind of feedback or suggestions from people as to what they think would be a good thing to do, and just set it up and just make it happen, and have it there forever for people that are going through a similar kind of journey. Sorry. So now it's time to share some videos of our week and to give you some video recipes of, especially the one that I did for you of my great Irish soda bread. Oh, and by the way, I did some blood tests on Friday, so for my next video I'll have the results of my blood tests. And again, don't forget to leave some feedback, and I promise I will get back to you. Also, I could do with a thumbs up, and please do subscribe, and I'll see you again soon, and I look forward to it. And I am feeling an awful lot better, but it was a tough week and there was a lot of toing and froing. So enjoy the rest of the program, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for a while. Bye-bye. Dr. Ashton would be very, very proud of us. Very, 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 very What is it?
Moringa, it's called. It's a super plant. It's a medicinal plant. Or you can eat it in your salad or dry it or.
So here's all of our veggies after our trip to Cohen and Donegal with different colours. And this is chamomile for chamomile tea. Beautiful. And all the fruit, all organic. I have a measuring thing here for 1 pint of flour. Okay, and this is the bread soda, salt, and sometimes I just scatter a little bit of porridge over the top of it, which just for decorative purposes. The flour, by the way, is this. It's organic flour. It's a whole grain flour, and so on. Okay, and George just have to burst the bag open here. The only 2 other ingredients that I need for the whole thing is I use agave, or you can use honey or maple syrup, and there is the vinegar. Okay, so pint of flour. Let's get a teaspoon. So 2 teaspoons of baking soda. 2. 1 teaspoon of salt. Surprised Georgia didn't say anything. No. So that's. Oh my God, there's too much salt. So this is the spatula I use. Just mix the baking soda, salt, flour, give it a good toss around. Make sure it's all mixed well with the flour, as simple as that. And then I just make a little hole in the bottom of the thing, I mix, and I put water, half pint of water. There's a pizza base just gone into the oven.
For 30 minutes.
So I use just water and roughly 2 tablespoons of vinegar, so I'm just going to give it a dollop like that. Okay. I mix the water with the thing. Oh yeah, before you do that, you just put the squirt of, it's like a tablespoon of honey, or it doesn't have to be exact, you know, of honey, maple syrup or agave, and then you just mix it all together. So just well mixed. And it'll probably seem a little bit watery for a dough as such, which is no harm. So just to show you again, okay, so that's it mixed. Then I scatter a bit of flour onto the table here. I empty this out onto the flour.
Do you want me to give you that lovely this and this?
Yeah, why not? I'm going to try it today actually in one of these baking tins for the first time, just to see if it, so you have to kind of just hold it over, get the flour into it so this isn't so sticky. You don't have to mix it much or knead it or anything like that, you know, it's just getting it to a situation where it's more pliable and manageable. See? Just scatter a bit of flour and the tin is supposed to be base of the thing. So today we're going to use this, yeah. It's one of these fancy non-stick. You can kind of raise it up a bit. We'll see how it works out. But normally, now, you just scatter a bit of flour on the base of a tin and put it in the oven at 180. But today we're going to do this, just to see if this works. Will I just put it in the oven, love?
Yes.
Oh yeah, just. It's just these for decorative purposes, really. So there it is in the oven at 180. Yeah, will we go walking? Yeah.